when I put together my June TBR, if you haven't seen it already, leave it linked up above, I was not the most sensible about it. I did not think about the fact that, yeah, moving in July, so my physical books will be leaving me in July, and so July should be the time for ebooks, and the physical books should be got through in June. Didn't think about that. So here is my reading vlog of me trying to read this glorious stack of books behind me. Welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Katrina and I make bookish content here on this channel at least twice a week, and then movie reviews here at the weekend. In the description box below you will find all my social links, including my blog and my Goodreads, where I try and review most of the things that I read. I try. But yes, wasn't sensible when I put my June TBR together. I decided to include July, August, September releases on ebook, rather than going, what do I have left on my shelves that I know I'm gonna pass along once I have finished reading them? Let's get round to those. I listed a couple at the end of my June TBR, but what I have decided to do is decided to do a bit of a kind of read your bookshelf-a-thon, read-a-thon, which does already exist, but I decided just to go, well, I've got this stack of proofs that you can see behind me here, which I am about to show you in more detail. I have access to basically all of these on audiobooks, so let's go ahead and just make that the aim until the end of the month. So yes, let's talk about the books and then let's jump into my vlog of the reading process. So this is the cube that we are going to aim to read. You will have seen this behind me in my previous videos, but yeah, basically the dinner list and today will be different are proofs. Their Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesiac is kind of a funny story, and Mammoth are all finished copies. And then I follow the rules, full disclosure, Tiny, the tourist attraction, Someday We Will Fly, and Birthday are all proofs as well. Now I'm not in any way saying that I'm definitely going to read all of these, but I do have access to all of them on audio, and so we're going to be trying to get through this stack. So let's go along and I will take you with me in this vlog. So I'm going into the movie theatre just now, but I am listening to Today Will Be Different, and it's giving me such the same vibes as Where'd You Go, Bernadette, even including the same school. So I have my headphones on my back, so I'll keep listening whilst I'm waiting for the film to start, especially since I'm doing IMAX and that's always very loud. So now it's time for a very warm walk. It's a little update on Today Will Be Different. I just finished it. I was really enjoying it so far. When I spoke to you to a certain point, I was about at the halfway point, to be honest, and then I feel like it went exactly the same way as Where'd You Go, Bernadette, where it just got like a little bit weird and I kind of found myself switching off a little bit. So between that and the dinner list, it's not going so well so far. So let's see where we are on the stack. So we've done the dinner list and Today Will Be Different. So we've got 3 or 4 YA titles next. That could be a good thing, the fact that we're changing it up a little bit, because we've had only adult titles so far, so we'll see. So I just checked and I'm on roughly page 200 of the book. I've got just over an hour left in the audiobook, so I will probably get that listened to while I'm out and about this afternoon. Again, a little bit like, with sensing a theme to this reading here, a little bit like Today Will Be Different. It started off strong and I was like, okay, I get where this is going, and I feel like since then kind of nothing's really happened. I keep waiting for something to happen. I love the cover, but yeah, a little bit disappointed. Obviously I was supposed to listen to It's Kind of a Funny Story next, so maybe that one would have been a better one to pick up next, but when I was out and about, my Hoopla was just not loading at all, which is why we had to listen to this one on overdrive. But yeah, so we'll finish this one and I will let you know where I'm going next. I thought maybe switching to YA might be a good thing, so we're going to stick with the YA, but at least it's going. At least I'm getting through them. Which it's not what you want to do with books. You don't want to just get through them. You want to pick them up and read them and enjoy them. But yeah, basically I have until next Thursday until all the, you know, new releases come my way. There's a couple being released next Thursday where I will deviate from the pile, but right now we're just working down the pile. So if you can see the stack behind me, I have definitely made my way through some of them. I did finish Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesiac. It's probably a 3-star read, like maybe less, I don't know. Like I have these 3 books that I have finished, but just, yeah, weren't great. I finally did start listening to It's Kind of a Funny Story. I don't think I'm that far into it. Yeah, definitely not that far into it. It's definitely tough going. It's definitely a little bit depressing. I mean, it sounds weird to say that something is depressing when it's about mental health and being depressed and being suicidal. But there are a lot of care warnings in this, and just reading it, I think I couldn't sort of sit down and read this without doing something else. So I'm quite glad that I'm listening to it on audiobook, because it means that I can be in the car, waiting for a movie to start, in the gym, wherever I am. I have a whole video about what I do whilst I audiobook, so I'll leave that linked up above. But yeah, in terms of like getting through this stack, I'm like, I think I need something a little bit lighter, a little bit more like something I enjoy. This is feeling a little bit like an April reading month. I need to switch it up. But as I'm not too far into this, it could definitely get better. I'm enjoying the New York setting, so I will let you know. So we are done with It's Kind of a Funny Story. Again, wasn't very overwhelming, like was rather underwhelming. I'm thinking that maybe there's a reason that I've kind of like left these books until not last, because, you know, it's a never-ending TBR pile and there's stuff coming out tomorrow and stuff coming out on Thursday this week. But yeah, 4 down, and I'm like, so we've moved on to Mammoth. I'm on chapter 3. I'm listening to it on Scribd. I think I have a Scribd free trial in the description box. I've got a Scribd something if you click the link in the description box. But we're listening to that whilst I'm out and about today. It's been a lot of time in the car, which is how I managed to finish It's Kind of a Funny Story, in between phone calls and running errands and what have you. But we're now at the cinema, just back here. So I have my lunch. I have forgotten, here's my lunch. I have forgotten my headphones. So the film starts at 2:15, but you know, 20 minutes of trailers, etc. Last time I looked, I was still the only person in there. Apparently this is the week where I go to the cinema and sit in an empty cinema because nobody wants to watch documentaries but me. So yeah, so we'll probably go in there about 2:30 so I can keep listening. So I've got about half-hour listening time, which should be nice. But yeah, listen to some more. And the aim is not to fall asleep in the cinema. I can see my like dark circles under here. Getting up at 6, it's just it's difficult for me. It's been difficult for me, but needs must, you know, needs must. Oh my goodness, it's Monday. We've got a lot done today though, so it's fine. But yeah, I'm going to see the Rita Moreno documentary, so I'll let you know how it is. Why not? Why not? Okay, I'm listening to Mammoth while sitting outside and sweating and putting my YouTube videos together, but I just realised as I'm trying to do my thumbnails, didn't take a picture for my thumbnails, and I've sweated off all my lipstick, so I'm gonna have to go back and do that. Well, I just finished listening to Mammoth, and I didn't hate it. It was sweet and listenable and relatable and different. You know, it wasn't groundbreaking and it didn't blow me away, but so far, working down the stack, it's the best of the bunch. So I think I've probably got time to squeeze in one more before my pre-order of Paige Toon comes through, or until my library hold of My Contrary Mary comes through, and then they will be priorities because I'm so excited about reading them. But then we've still got a week until the 1st. So, fingers crossed. So now we are done with Mammoth. 5 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go, just in this stack. But we've got I Followed the Rules, Full Disclosure, or Tiny coming up next. Full disclosure, I am actually still on the watch strap mark. I am still on the hold list for, but I am number 1, so I think we're gonna have to go with I Followed the Rules. And I actually have that one on Audible, bought it on one of the Audible sales, and so that means I can speed it up to like 2.4. So having finished My Contrary Mary and Someone I Used to Know by Paige Toon, I'm now back to my stack. I have 2 days left before I'm giving away my proofs, and I've just gone for the next one on the stack, which I had on Audible. It's been a day. Which is I Followed the Rules, which features the main character called Catriona, and it's set in Glasgow, and I love that. So yeah, it seems to be, Audible's good now. It tells you how long you have left if you're listening at the speed that you're listening to. So it says we've got less than 3 hours, so it's doable that I could listen to that today. And I literally only started listening to it on my way home at like 4:30, so that's not too bad. So I finished I Followed the Rules. This was definitely my favourite out of the list. Is it possibly because this one comes from my favourite genre, aka a rom-com? Possibly. Is it because it has a main character named Catriona who's spelt the same way as me? Possibly. Is it because it's set in Glasgow? Possibly. But I mean, that is like the trifecta of things that I absolutely love in a book. And a main character who is like very real and speaks her mind and doesn't try and sort of bow to the pressures around her to be a certain way. Little bit of deception in there, which I wasn't so keen on. As I say, I wouldn't have minded if the narrator was a little bit more Glaswegian, but yeah, apparently should have started with this one, but I've listened to it now and now it is off my shelves. I did also look, and I do have a NetGalley review copy of this one. So I bought the audiobook. This is a finished copy of the book, and I had a NetGalley review copy, so just reading this one was a good thing. We did a good thing here, even if the project itself wasn't necessarily a complete success. We did a good thing by reading this one. So I have taken the stack down. Let me insert I Followed the Rules where it was, and then you can see how I got on with my read my bookshelf challenge. So yes, you can see the shelf behind me is empty and I have a precarious stack of books here. I should probably move my coffee out the way first. So here's the stack. So we did The Dinner List. Wasn't a big success, didn't enjoy it that much. Can see why I left it so long before reading. Not great. Adult literary fiction. Then we did Today Will Be Different. Again, not a great success. I felt very like Where'd You Go, Bernadette, but some of the parts that I liked less of Where'd You Go, Bernadette. I will say it started off stronger than it continued, and unfortunately, yeah, I didn't end up enjoying it by the end of it. Again, adult literary fiction, not so much. Then we did Memoirs of a Teenage Amnesiac. Again, started off strong, had some good promise in there, and then I was just still waiting for something to happen by the time we'd actually got to the end. So not really a success. That one is YA, and that is a finished copy. Speaking of YA and finished copies, It's kind of a funny story. I'd heard that it was fairly dark and fairly depressing, and it was just too dark and depressing for me. I thought that the narrator did a good job, but it took the parts of Girl Interrupted and One Flew Over a Cuckoo's Nest that are kind of the darker parts and put that in a YA novel. So yeah, finished copy, not for me. And then my second favourite, which was a gift from the lovely Bethany, and I'm trying to see if this is, yeah, this is a finished copy. I was like, I think it's a finished copy, but it must be because it came from Amazon. And this one is plus size fashion blogger and paleontologist and journey of self-discovery. So I did enjoy it. It wasn't anything like monumental, but it was a pleasant read. I was excited to kind of put the audiobook back on and continue listening, which is definitely not the case for most of the previous books that I've listened to. So yeah, enjoyed this one. This one definitely comes in, I wouldn't say close second, but in second place to the next one. I followed the rules, love it, highly recommend it. Adult rom-com set in Glasgow, main character called Katrina, who doesn't like people calling her cat and doesn't like people pronouncing it catriona. There we go. Like, you know, I really enjoyed it considering actually keeping it. Yeah, so I think we've I'm not sure what we've learnt from this experiment. We've learnt that even though I think I can read the whole stack, even though, I mean, these ones don't amount up to a massive amount of reading, so I didn't get to full disclosure. I'm still on the wait list for this one, so I think when the it's less than 300 pages, so I think that when the audio copy of this one comes through, I've been number one on the wait list for many weeks now. They've been like, you know, you're number one on the wait list about 2 weeks, and been like, I feel like that's been for about 4 weeks. Don't know how someone can keep an audio review copy. Like, I understand with a physical book, but not necessarily an audio review copy. I also did not get to Birthday, but I do have this one on Hoopla, so I can kind of borrow this anytime. This is an 8-hour exactly audiobook because it is 320 pages, so it's not too bad. Then, I don't know, so this one I think was never going to be a favourite of mine anyway. Obviously, there's been quite a few sort of circus type themed books recently, and I've never been drawn to them, but I got this proof. I won this proof as I did it in a book haul, but yeah, I think that this was never going to be that successful anyway. This one I was quite excited to read. However, this one features an Alaskan trip, and at this point I'm now at just about 48 out of 50 states, and one of the states I haven't done is Alaska, so maybe I need to save this one for when I can and do go to Alaska. And then the other one I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't get to, probably more out of than any of them, is Tiny. Again, I have this one on Hoopla, so I think I will still try and listen to the audiobook, because I got this one at BookCon, my first BookCon, and then Kim Hooper has been wonderful at reaching out to me and sending me proofs, and I loved all the acorns on the forest floor. I loved No Hiding in Boise. You know, it comes up in sort of some of my favourite books of Q2, video linked in the end screen, and so I'm kind of gutted I didn't get to this one, but I can read it without having this. I've featured this on my Instagram. I still think it's absolutely gorgeous, and again, it's not super long, it's just over 300 pages, and so the audiobook is probably something I will still come back to. So there you have it. I will try and link these books in the description box below, and the books on my right here will obviously feature in my June wrap-ups, so make sure you are subscribed and hit that notification bell so that you do not miss out on that. I was just giving you time to do it there. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know in comments if you like this format of video, because I'm quite happy to make videos like this in the future. This did make up quite a chunk of my reading this month, and so it was quite nice to document it, even if it wasn't the biggest success in terms of finding books that I liked. I will be back with my June wrap up for you next. So yes, I will see you then. Thanks for watching.